Hey, what's going on? It's William Foreman from Bosu, America. So, the winter is upon me, but I'm still going to throw some episodes out there and just do some stuff. So today is going to be the 6 cars I've owned and which one I like the most. So sit back, guys, and enjoy the 6 cars I owned, or this was my 6 favorite and why I owned them. Alright guys, hold on. Alright guys, the first car, it was actually like a 1989, I think it was a Plymouth Horizon, but I got a picture of a Dodge Omni. They basically were the same car with this whole 70 horsepower. The car was a piece of shit. My mother, I think she drove it till it died. It was something wrong with the axle, and she said if you can get it rolling, you can have it. So I got it rolling, put some cheap diamond wire 50 series wheels on it, cut the springs, had the roughest ride on earth. It wasn't a favorite car. The engine was, real crappy, but it was one of those cars. I liked it, but it wasn't one of my favorites. So let's get on to the next car. Alright guys, car number 2, 1984 Isuzu Impulse. It had 140 horsepower. Believe it or not, I actually owned one of these, and it was in really bad shape. The back mounts were gone, the front had rusted. I really liked it because my buddy Clyde had one of these cars. He had like a red one, and I mean, he was a young guy from Jamaica. I bought one years later, as I grew up, had it for a short time. The car was neat, but the engine was fucking complicated. I liked the way the car looked, but the car wasn't shit. So it wasn't one of my favorites. So I just want to put it in there because it was one of the cars I owned. But it was a car I liked, but it wasn't my favorite. On to the next one, guys. Okay, guys, this is car number 3. Now, believe it or not, I owned about 4 of these, but these things were a pain in the ass. A 1989 Peugeot 505 with its 94 horsepower. This engine was a pain in the ass. Some of the shit on this car was so hard to change because working on it was like impossible for me to understand the car. My stepdad hated these cars because they were foreign and the way the blocks were made. I liked the way the car was built, I liked the way it looked, but it just didn't run right. I liked the car, but it was not one of my favorites. Alright guys, we go on to the next one. Alright guys, we're getting close to the car that I do like, but this is one of them in the like more than the other ones. It was a 1980 Chevrolet Chevette. I love Chevettes because there was a guy by the name of Kenny Simpson that owned one. Another guy named Mark, I think called Cuff was another guy named Furman, and another guy named Chris. All these guys own Chevettes, and each one of their Chevettes, man, I used to love the way they had the big modular wheels on them. Kenny Simpson used to have these huge wheels, and I mean, he used to have like a 15-inch kicker listening to the Soul to Soul. Yeah, I'm telling you my age. The only problem I had with the Chevettes were some of them were made with the starter in one of the most impossible places. You had to take like the whole manifold off. It was a pain in the ass. Outside of that, the cars were basically impregnable, but you can't find them anymore because they didn't manufacture them no more. But it was one of those cars I like more than the other ones up here, and I had about 4 of those things. Alright guys, to the next car. Alright guys, the next car is a 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit with this gigantic 74 horsepower. Now, believe it or not, the Volkswagen Rabbit was probably one of my favorite cars next to a Sirocco. I used to love Volkswagen Rabbits. At one time, I used to be able to drive through Clifton, walk through Clifton, and find them in the backyard and fix them up. The only problem is the cars were basically lemons. A Volkswagen Rabbit was a fucking lemon. Here it was. And it was one of those cars that if you were able to get it to run right, it ran right. But if you didn't, the thing was a piece of shit. It's one of my favorite cars over the Chevette. Believe it or not. I owned probably 15 Volkswagen Rabbits before I gave up on them. Now I never see them, but I have seen a young man driving one that's lowered its tan. I wouldn't even try to buy one now because they say they automatically crush them. But I always had a love for the Volkswagen Rabbit. To the next car, guys. Alright, before I get to the last car, which is my favorite car outside of the Hondas that I drive now, this is a white whale to me. I can't find this car no more, and I want it really bad, and I hated that I sold it. When I sold this car still ran and is still running today, 5-10 years after I sold it. If you can guess what this car is, I guarantee you're going to be surprised when I do it. So I'm going to reveal it on the next segment. So hold on, guys. But let's get a few moments here. I want to thank YouTube and all the people out there who are making great videos. I enjoy all the videos you guys are making. I may not have 1 million subscribers, but I will tell you what, I watch all these guys, Haggard, Static, Garage Built Hondas. I watch all of them. I even have new ones that I actually subscribe to. So this is a big thanks and a big up to all the great YouTubers out there. I just don't get enough of it, man. It's nothing like seeing people do stuff on their own cars and love it. I just subscribe to a new one today. Well, it's a Hispanic guy that deals with trucks. Keep doing it, guys, because I'm telling you what, I don't want my car to look like yours, but I am totally inspired by a lot of you guys. So let's get to the next segment, and that's my big thank you to the YouTubers of today. Alright guys, here it is. The 1991 Toyota Camry 4-cylinder, 115 horsepower. God, I love that car so much. The way it was made, it was almost, you know, the other car that was made like it was a what was it? An ES250. Lexus, square body just like it. You know Lexus made Toyota, they the same. But this Toyota Camry, my dad gave me this car because it smelled like gas. You know, my dad butthole. I'm not gonna get into that, but he gave the car to me, and I drove the car for, you know, for some years before I got rid of it. I sold it at an auction, and I saw the same car. Now, how do I know it's the same car? Because it had my mama's basement stickers on it. The guy said all he did was change the oil. I wish I'd never sold that car. I did so much to the car. I mean, I didn't really bust the engine down, but I worked on the engine. As long as you kept the oil in it, as long as you changed the brakes and the gas line would go bad, you do a new one, that car, it will run forever. The only thing they did to it, which was kind of the demise of it, is you wasn't able to oil that frame up no more, grease up the frame, and it would rust out bad. But that right there is my favorite car of all time. Right now, Hondas are beating it out, but if I ever find that Toyota Camry, I'll buy it. Thanks, guys, for being here with me with Bosu America on my top 6 cars that I was in love with, and, you know, some of the problems I had. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. Again, thanks to all the other YouTubers. This is something I wanted to do because winter is upon me. Take care, guys.